exciting combination. Two people doing different things, but on the same platform, about to talk about the great things that they do. So today I'm joined by Babukar Manka. So Babukar is the producer of Home Again. I know if you're a social media person, he's all over social media. He's been all over social media throughout the week. Everybody's celebrating you and everybody's proud of you. And I think it's a good thing. And you know, the fact that it's talking about something that is quite timely, because irregular migration is something that we get to deal with every single day. And even if it's not your family, it's a close family, an individual who wants to venture into it. And the fact that it is focusing on reintegration of migrants is something that is quite significant. But I'll not be doing the talking for you. I'll allow you to do it yourself. So first of all, let's talk about what motivated this film or documentary. Let's start from there.
All right. Good evening, everyone. As she mentioned, I am Babukar Manka, a filmmaker working at State of Mike. Yes, what motivated the film, quite a long story, but as instead of Mike, we've been very interested in making films that are related to migration. As you are aware, the film we made before this was Gifts from Babylon, right, which was not mainly a migration film, but had the migration team. Actually became the IM film of the year, played in more than 100 countries, won a lot of awards. But also right now, we went in 2015, I was listening to the news and I heard EU and African leaders meeting in Malta to see what they can do to address the migration crisis. And I was very interested as a citizen, not just as a filmmaker, because migration has been shaping our societies for a very long time, most especially the past 2 decades. So what interested me in that news was there were monies generated from that.
About 4.5 billion euros?
Yeah, 4.5 billion. It was called the EU Trust Fund for Africa,
right,
which tried to create few things. One is to encourage cooperation between EU and African leaders to start accepting migrants that have tried the asylum process but couldn't make it to come back. Yeah. Basically deportation. Two is to fortify EU borders. By that I meant EU giving the responsibilities of border control to countries outside EU. Yeah. Niger, the route. So a lot of money was spent into making sure the smugglers that are pushing migrants, helping migrants get to Libya, Odysseys don't even get to Libya. So before you think of getting to Europe, you're not even getting to the countries that are the passage. So a lot of migrants were going and failing. Right. But that was not my interest. What was my interest was, the most important part of that money was to fight the root causes of migration. Right. Because migration for a long time has been a process of fighting the symptoms and not the cause. Okay. They look at things are happening this way and then they try to fix that. Example, this deportation. But now they said, let's look at the cause. And the cause is, there is conflict in Africa, but there's also poverty. There's poverty. Right. So let's use this part of this money to make sure people are not migrating. Before you go to EU to look for Europe to look for opportunities, why not you stay at home, because there can be opportunities like this and this. So around 2015-16, I was interested in, okay, will that work? And that question helped me until 2018, when I saw a project called Generation Africa, which invited filmmakers across the continent to talk about the theme of migration. Right. And obviously. And that was the right time. The right time for me to try this. Even just before that, I did, okay, it's within this framework, but I did another migration story that is about the people that died, that came to Bara. Right, right. Yes, right. So it was within the same theme. But yeah, we were just looking at that process. Is it working? Giving monies to Africa to help them fight conflict and fight poverty, which is influencing people to get on this dangerous journey to Europe. So basically that's why we made this documentary, to just assess, is the reintegration process working? When people come, are they having hope? Yeah, so we will delve into that shortly. Is the reintegration itself working? So you went to Germany in one of the biggest documentary festivals. Exciting. Well, before we delve into that, you just smiled. Why is that? I don't know. I just smiled because, I don't know. It was an exciting journey there. Yes, because it's part of the process. Yeah. Obviously, for me, it was a relief that I've been working on a project for 3 years, with so many back and forth, try to make it better with my producers. And finally, we get to have a break. So Germany to me was not just a premiere, but it was having a break from this process of making it better.
Okay.
So yeah, it was exciting because it was the biggest film documentary festival in Germany. Carried more than 155 films across the globe. 54 countries participated. This was the only and first Gambian film to be there. It was important because when we premiered, a lot of policy shapers were there, and they were able to have context. You know, when you're from there, you hear about migration, you hear about migrants, but you're mainly focused on what you hear from the news, you hear the data. But this was just to add texture to the information you're hearing. A little bit of a raw encounter with a migrant that came to the Gambia. And then they were excited. Everybody that was there was excited to hear from this story. Yeah.
All right. It was a good thing that I asked about the smile anyway, considering how the answer right now is quite beneficial to all of us.
So when you ask me one question, I talk for 3 minutes.
I know. So let's take a look at the teaser. You know, someday maybe there can be a screening somewhere where people can go and you know, take a look at the movie, the documentary. But we will talk about that as we transition. So let's take a look at the teaser there, just to give you an idea of what Babukar was trying to achieve there. And when we come back, the conversation will continue. Do stay tuned.
Thank you.
Hello. Oh. Ni ga bo nyam amole samba silo ni kan bos ni siri nyam pol kasi so da andre bulo ko ne mu nak ni man ta budo ko fana do ko ga ko mi ko do so kam be every so foi buka no buka fentino me asat ne no e family bon no ko la ko so wala como nin tamu silo la ni ora vediamo right now come sila fu mo tra la mo shukino sila fu no ni hala ngata mo shukino saya ngamen je komi conditional kono no natte ke do mendi comme ngatra siri njaay no ngado ko ke ni ngamen so no ngalon ko ngana so do
kole ya ben telekan hasini ya ben telekan o kele ba ben telekan ka poni lon na mole ben kelekan hey ay hey 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 ay hey hey hey
Sanji jama meta nyini la kakata soto mansia dolu kom makata nteri jama boritana dolu jamfata ikafo meta kelo la lemo mamfata nsita ngamira wuluta nyine kono bata mimo hamoti mala fisama doe sofa lunkiling welta nduta wulan jamfata nkafendole ma wati dol ay fasa brimbita kan dol binakan dolu bolu kono la hajole tinyata bira kuntuta fanantel bitakan nimo jama banyo kono jamale fata hani wonfe nasila bakang mimo hamotin tadula fonga futa nkan jawleje ibina kan sibo kono ila ferolunga alamuta ndunta dula jama fana teri jama tije wati dolun kaki telefoni subalen kata luwolun kakutu kata komin sunjata haji dole kana wali ninyin do yom fata ikafoni mbeta makana silonga ninkeso kubuka bete anyama fona tara bondita kuodol kakembulle doron dula do etinya problemo e hapun mansena yemuta.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. So Babukar, did I just say this morning? I meant youth dialogue. But anyway, it's been happening several times on the program. But I always talk about how normal it is. If I say QTV news, or I say this morning, or I say youth dialogue, it's totally fine. So Babukar, I want to know, is that song accompanied by the documentary, or it's something separate? I want to know if it's the same thing.
Yes. So the song... I keep giving long answers, so let me just go to the short answer.
It's fine.
The long answer is,
when
we started this project is very well funded and gave us the opportunity to look for talents all over the continent and even outside. But I insisted on making sure we only find Gambian talents. because we were looking at a project that will give us the guideline, but it should be easier for us. The next time we're doing a documentary, it should be easier. And easier means sometimes accessible. So I could have gone to Nigeria or South Africa or Egypt to get somebody, but we said, let's find somebody that when we build a relationship, when we build an understanding, it will be easier to get someone. And we contacted Malang Fati for the soundtracks. After Malang Fati listened to everything, did the sound design and everything, he said, I think Kombonka's album has some songs that will do well with this. And you will expect that from Malang Fati because he's very, very passionate about Kombonka. But yeah, I was also passionate about the album because I kept listening, but it never clicked. Until I listened to the song and I was feeling emotional throughout. And this was at the end of the film. This was the last. And I said, no, it has to be there. And Malang offered us to make it the official soundtrack of the film. Because also Kombonka was in the same journey that Pabi went through. He was in Libya for a long time, going through these same challenges. So it's a spiritual experience that he is explaining, and we thought, so why not we just add it there? Yeah.
It blends well. So how did you connect with the story of Pabi?
That's a complicated answer because I find it difficult to separate myself as a brother, as a friend that the family keeps calling every time to tell you we are putting Pabi's responsibility to you, but also as somebody that wanted to be objective. Because if a relationship was at a certain level, I would not be objective with the story. So I wanted to be authentic as possible. So balancing between a family that trusts you so much versus that you sometimes feel you have the responsibility to take over all his responsibilities of making it better, but also to tell us authentic stories. So there was a difficult balance.
But how were you able to balance that? You know,
it is still challenging. It is still challenging. It is still challenging.
How? There must have been something you know. No, there must have been a trick there.
No. It's a long story, but even right now we are having that challenge, even after the premiere. Because the expectations are high, because yes, even yesterday I was calling, the father called me. We understand that the expectations are high, but this is not a film about Pabi. This is about the people Pabi represents. And there are thousands of them, there are hundreds, there are many of them. So at some point, Babukar Manka and Pabi has to do the sacrifice necessary to make sure people that look like Pabi are well represented. So when I approach it, it's less of Pabi, even though Pabi is very important in my life and story. Yes, but no matter what happens to Pabi, it has happened to people before, and it will continue to happen to other people. So this is a representation of that. Yes.
But my thing is, this is a skill. How were you able to? You still didn't answer the question of how. You know, because youth dialogue, normally, we just take it as a mentorship in a way. There are a lot of young people out there watching who might want to be in your shoes someday, do the same thing.
Do you have the time? That's the issue.
But, well, it's a question anyway.
All right, so now, whatever the case is, I have tried, I don't know if I was able to, but to be very honest from the beginning. The first day I met Pabi, from the get-go, I told him exactly what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, what is on the table. He explained to me his concerns, and I was careful with what to do and what not to do. I have producers that are there that will tell me, that never told me this is the story you should tell, but they were telling me, for it to be accepted into this level, these are the kind of qualities you should have. But I told them, no matter what you're doing, do not interfere with the dignity of Pabi. The story should not be influenced in any way that Pabi's dignity is lost. I have other agencies in the country that have concerns, but my focus from the beginning till end was the dignity of Pabi, because the dignity of Pabi represents the dignity of many other people. So focusing on the privilege that Pabi and his family has given me to allow me with my invasive cameras into their house was a burden, and a burden that I had to respect. Because it is not easy to allow, like I've never met Pabi before this scene. This is the first 20 minutes of me seeing Pabi. Arriving in Karang. He never knew that there will be cameras there. He has suffered on this journey for a long time. But it was authentic conversations we have. difficult conversations, but the right conversations that made him trust me.
Yeah.
But all along too, I was telling Pabi, this is you, but also this is about a lot of more migrants.
Right.
So it is a difficult balance. Until today, I struggle because sometimes, like right now, Pabi is in Libya, looking for ways to get to Europe. Sometimes I think it is my responsibility to make sure Pabi makes it. But also it is my responsibility to tell an authentic story.
Right.
Like example, this whole film, Pabi was struggling to get 1,000 euro from as a reintegration package. I could easily get him that 1,000 euro. But then...
You can't.
No, you can't because the story dies.
Yes.
So what happens? So there's a like a scenario of that vulture and the child story. If you save him, there's no photo.
Exactly.
But what do you do in that process? So it's a difficult thing. I'm yet to figure it out, but we are discussing. But as much as I try, is to tell an authentic story, and be realistic with what is with Pabi. I tell him everything, give him all the information that is available. What might hurt you today, what might not hurt you today. You've said this. I think tomorrow it might affect you.
Right.
But any other person that is not Pabi, I really didn't care throughout this process what they were thinking.
All right.
Because this is a film about Pabi. It is about Pabi's integrity. There were other people that have interest in making sure the story looks otherwise.
Yeah.
But they were not important to me because it's about Pabi. It's about his dignity. It's about his life. And I made sure before the film was released, he was able to watch it. And then...
what was his take after watching it?
He said, let's tell the story. It is important. Yeah. All
right. So after doing this particular documentary, what do you think about all these reintegration packages that you see for irregular migrants, you know, as an individual, you know, as a storyteller?
Now, we had a lengthy discussion about this in Germany.
Yeah.
Because it was fresh information for them, and I was surprised that it is new to them. But Pabi, without spoilers, I don't mind. Pabi came to the Gambia after 1 year, didn't make it, and went back to Bagwe. Yes.
So
now,
you just gave it
spoilers,
to them.
yes.
You just gave it to them.
Because the story is more important than the film. You guys come to this screening and watch it for 1 day. No, this is about what the film represents. It's not about screening.
Yeah.
It's not a business. I'm not making any money from this film. Okay. It's not a business. What the film is about, what the film should create is awareness.
Right.
So in this story, Pabi came with a friend, Njundu made it in the Gambia. Pabi didn't make it in the Gambia. Pabi went back away. So in the case of Pabi, it looks like the integration system is not working. And where it is working, it looks like what Njundu's story was there. So Pabi's story basically represents, if it is not working, what are some of the conditions, what are some of the dynamics that make it difficult for it to work?
Right.
Family issue, lack of education from his part, but also has no business background. But also the challenges that are the political and institutional bureaucratic challenges that are in the background in the background,
so
making
when
it
you
difficult.
say bureaucratic, are you talking about getting access to these packages? Is that what you're
Yes and no, because Pabi spent 4 months trying to access 1,000 euro.
Through a grant or
no,
from family?
Now, this EUT of money that I told you was the inspiration from this project in 2015. Is a lot of money, 4.5 billion distributed among agencies.
Right.
IOM, GIZ, the government, there are so many institutions that are taking money to implement, to make sure when people come to Gambia, they don't have the need to go back. Take a fee, always money from that money, from that package.
Right.
So whatever they're doing is to make sure people like Pabi don't go back to Europe, because they should provide that opportunities. That is why since 2016, 17 especially, you see a lot of monies coming to the Gambia for the same project.
Right.
Governments, some part of that money went to strengthen the government's budget, government to make sure beyond the direct funds that are going to the migrants, institutionally it is better. But also part of that money is what made sure Pabi couldn't make it to Europe, and I think might never make it to Europe, because they are fortifying the EU borders, by not necessarily in EU, but the countries that leads to EU. There is very effective patrol in the seas, And if anybody is caught, they take you to prison. If you're in prison after 9 months, somebody comes to you and say, okay, you want to stay in prison or you want to go home? You say, you decide. And if you say, I don't want to be in prison, they term that as voluntary migration.
Yes.
Voluntary returning.
Yeah.
Because there's no option. There's no option of I'm going out to decide my journey. No. You're either in prison or you go home. So now when they come back, is it easy or difficult for them to make it?
Question.
So Pabi took a lot of procedures trying to access the money. And part of that bureaucracy was to tell migrants that they can never access cash. They can access it in kind. If Jenaba wants to be on TV, we find somebody that is a mentor to Jenaba and tell her, we pay you this amount of money for mentoring, and you get this Jenaba, this equipment, or is this education from that money. Right. Pabi said no.
But the reason that came is because they used to give it to them in cash, and that did not work. Now,
let me come in the defense of the institutions too, because if you follow this documentary, my voice is not there, my thoughts are not there, because I wanted to be objective. That is why anytime I'm talking, it's difficult to know where I belong.
I know.
I spent so much time with Pabi, but from the institutional from the defense of the institutions is also, if Babakar goes to Italy, Mali or Niger and fail, and come back and get 50,000 euros. I eat that money, 3 months later I go back, come back and get it is a business.
It is.
If Babakar went to Ethiopia, Libya, and come back and get 100,000 euros,
right.
If we are saying the money they're giving them is small, and then I make it, I'm telling Jennifer, okay, you can go to,
and when you come back, this is what
get
you're
this
going
money
to get.
as much as
exactly.
me. So we understand the dilemmas with the institutions. That is why they're making it difficult for them to get cash.
Right.
And that cash, no matter which bureaucracy they're using, it funded Pabi's first trip because Pabi went twice. It funded Pabi's first trip. It funded Pabi's last trip. So whatever they're doing they're improvising and being creative with the money, and they're still going. Yeah. So it is difficult to manage. So yes, the institutions are right that it is difficult to manage, because when you don't give them cash, they say it's not worth it for me to come back to Ghana because I'm not going to make it. If you give them cash, they take the road and go back. So that dynamics is a challenge.
Yeah, we talked about family pressure. Watching the documentary as well, we saw how the family was also willing, and the dad talking about the fact that he wants Pabi to make it.
Go. Yes.
He wants Pabi to go. Yes. And these are things that actually happen in our households, where the moms will say, "Harama johla ngadem def kom sa moromi," Yeah. So before we delve into that, we have a little excerpt there where we want to show you the evidence that it's happening. So let's take a look at that, and when we come back, like I always say, in as much as it's a conversation on home again, but we also want to tap into your potential. We know, you're good at what you do, and young people will want to benefit from the tips as to what you do, taking a look at the film industry in the Gambia, and the list goes on due to time constraints. So let's take a look at that, and we will be right back.
suma xalaat ak suma gis-gis si la leen dem man kii rek laa yaakaar comme tey jii su tuggee dugg na Europe man dina am lu ma neex.
te musu sabale be mbul musu sabale be ndabul banna musu do wala o dimfulo be wulu mene be tamadu la ba do o manke on fon de on koto ma de wala ko ma o banda o tata tamol la banda bari ñun be ngaji ko soto pabil to dine woluti mun adama dingo nabe na fala bradi ndi kalol ni dingo hatta monte fang pabil na ko katwa sonno moto wata be wosi lam fa ka bata wala na la tamo fana no kala no ka wuli ma ko ro soto da silala pra tama fana ka wole nyini
Sedo. Gamira tama amelibe prisoner kono man. Babja ngafo kwa. Nende life well any di jamman. Ekeke kono ja kumbo. Kafo ko ndaba fa jan. Na le jaw mo ko kumba ka ko ende fa la nya debi. because ndere fendi no
Sanji kono tomba maborinka so kono yenke dami dibo woni deto ko so kono wulara le kana balodi natili folo yamindi nam fono tale madomo dokoni bata katu wala kono konkoni sasa mba wala kono jamale fata e botamol kono adun ni kam fata e muka ku keno biri kon fata yenna sada bosuwo kono wala yenna musosi kedo bulo kono birin findita ye murundi suwo kono ngatara na family modol te nyo kono pabini mero te suwo kono singirol talate te nyo kono abukoni ndunta life dola kono iko kodo tije so kuodol muka keno bim felen kaya sate kono bota min kono abuko yemurundi wala kono doku won sembo se min keno nka bele ma fose kuodol keno
kole ya bentelekan hasri ya bentelekan kele ba bentelekan ka fani lanna mole benkelekan kole ya bentelekan hasri ya bentelekan kele ba bentelekan ka fani lanna mole benkelekan hey 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 hey
from that break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV Youth Dialogue, and I'm here with Babukar Manka, the producer of Home Again.
Director.
Yeah.
Alaji Manka is the producer.
Oh, Alaji Manka is? Okay.
The producer, I am the director. Yeah.
All right. So he must have been involved in any way, you know.
Yeah,
as
the business
brothers.
part, the facilitation. And I was the one directly in contact with Pabi.
Amazing. So let's talk about families and the pressure after doing this particular documentary. What do you think about families and the pressures that they put on some of these individuals? What is their role, you know, when it comes to reintegration? What support do you think they should provide after working on this?
Now, from where I stand, I think I'm a little bit too privileged to be preaching to such families. But if you watch the film, you will realize that this is a film about family. It's not about institutions, it's not about the migrants, it's a film about families. Because one migrant made it because he is from a strong family. A head teacher, a retired head teacher, told his son and told him, when his son came, he said, what I am is giving you cannot do anything. We're going to give you this much money, and within this time, we're not going to ask you for anything. So make sure your business grows. If you fail, if it doesn't work, use the small money and start again. But we're not going to ask you. Now the other end of the story is Pabi's family. That from the day the money came, you could see his father coming to say, we need seedlings to farm. His mother said, we need soap. You know, all those things. And you cannot blame the family because they have more than 30, 40 people in the same house. They try very much, but it's not as easy for them as it should be. So Pabi, being a man that thinks it is his responsibility as a man to take care of his family, he spends most of that money, most of the money he was supposed to spend on his business to take care of the family needs. Because sometimes too you realize it's a question of dignity, because when Pabi comes, if he cannot take care of these basic things, then why was he on the road for this much time? Because the only reason why he is actually going is to take care of this. It's not for him to make money for himself. So when he looked at that €1,000, he was not saying, okay, should I spend this money on myself? But what was the ultimate goal? Why did I actually go? Was to solve the problems of my family. So he used most of the money to solve. And the other guy, the father told him, no, instead of you giving me money, I'm the one that is going to give you money. The father is educated, as I said, a retired head teacher.
A different narrative.
The other person, it's not.
So which means education is basically key when it comes to this whole scenario. But due to
yes
time
and no,
constraints,
you don't necessarily need to be educated to be able to do well for yourself. But sometimes, just yesterday I was listening to somebody saying, if you keep giving a poor person $1,000 every day, for the next 10 years they will be broke. Because that $1,000 is not to give them food, it's going to solve 10 problems they've been having for the last 1 year. But if you give somebody that is well of $1,000, it's extra, it's like fuel money or whatever, it's adding something. But this one is going down to pick some people up. So the €1,000 to Pabi's family was very different from the €1,000 to Njundu's family. Because Njundu was already here and was supposed to go this way. Pabi was supposed to bring people from down. So the dynamics were different. So there's no, but all in all, to me, the most important part of the film, when I watch it, is the fact that migration is not, you cannot have one magic pill to solve the migration crisis. It's too difficult, too many dynamics, and this film was supposed to expose that. That is the most important part of the film. To expose that it is not as easy as sitting in your offices, looking at how many people are dying, how many people are going, and deciding what should be the solution. Sometimes hear from them. And if you watch Pabi, you will know the people that are failing, this is why they're failing, and you will be more effective in solving that problem. Right. Because now you know why they're failing. If you watch Njundu, you will know people that are making it, this is why they're making it, and you will be more effective in solving that problem. So it is just basically giving texture or more information to the to decision makers so that they can make the right decision. Right. So like I said, now we put Home Again aside, and I'm happy about the fact that you said it's not to make money, which means the public will have access to be able to watch it, which is a good thing because we've already given them enough spoilers, right? You know, so hopefully they will have a chance. So are you planning to do a big screening somewhere where Gambians will be able to go and watch it? It is not totally my film. Okay. I am the director, but I am working with partners that decide when and where does it come or play. Okay. And anything that I'm doing, it has to be directed through the project. Right. Yes. So obviously we are going to screen it in the Gambia, but not right now. At this point in time. Because it is going to affect its chances of festivals. Okay. So it has to be first in the international festivals first. Before. Like we just did last week with DocFest, which is the biggest German documentary festival. And it is going elsewhere. So at some point we will bring it to the Gambia. But when we are bringing it, we are not bringing it as a film to come and entertain you and you pay money. No. We are bringing you it form of as a film you can watch to give it texture. Okay. To use the film to go to families and discuss. To use the film to go to policymakers and discuss. To use the film to go to migrants and discuss what can we do better. Yes. So we are open to taking 2 callers due to time constraints because we have another guest. So we just open the lines 5050505. If you have any question to ask Mr. Manka here, please do. But before we get any caller on the line, can we just quickly talk about Gambia here, the filmmaking industry? First of all, do we have an industry? Should I start there? What should I call it? You're right if you don't call it industry. You're right if you call it industry. At the end of the day, me, if you've spoken to me, I'm not a guy that is very much buried into terminologies and technicalities. What I'm focused on is what is happening and what is not happening, and that is part of the reasons why I made this film, because we like rhetorics. Okay. And this is the right way to say this. This is not. We spend so much time thinking about. You want to smash that? Should it be irregular migration or regular migration, illegal? Yeah. This is about human beings. So the documentaries was coming to show you this is about human beings, not these terms. So with also the film. So I have to interrupt you there because we have a caller on the line. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Fine, thank you. What is your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Mohammed.
All right. So Mohammed, do you have a question or a comment?
Actually, I didn't have a question. Just to say kudos to the guy speaking right there.
Yeah. And to the director of Home Again.
Exactly.
Yes.
And to the families that were just willing to showcase the stories and just to widen people's mind about the difficulties and some of the possibilities in this illegal migration, if I might call it. And just wishing the boy good luck, all his hopes comes true.
All right.
That's all.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate that comment. So moving on, how do you see the film industry? Yes. Yes, I'm also the PRO of the Film Producers Association. Yes. As an executive member, part of my responsibilities also is to increase capacity the building for the membership. Yes. There are little activities. But we are doing small things. But the Gambia generally, we are very individualistic. Okay. In the sense that each one is doing your thing at your own corner. Even at the organization level. Yeah, generally. Which you are not necessarily at FBAC, but generally. Okay. So everybody wants to do your thing, and so it's difficult to move as a movement or as a team. But we are trying. We are trying as much as possible to make sure, like what Babakara has benefited from.
to get his films to global markets, and this was not the first one. Other people can.
You just hold it right there. So, good evening.
Huh?
Good evening. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Anti nanga def ak fo ñoo kolé jama rek.
Mangi ni mangi len di kolé kololi.
Okay. So naka nga tudda?
Man bajjane xalé yi la tudda.
Bajjane xalé jeex na tak man lo la gom. So fim nekk ni da nga am laajte boko bëgga laajte na def da nga bëgga sani cadeau si just am topic bi tay.
Dama happy rek.
Waaw.
Dama happy ba pare dama bëggoon rek pour sànni tuuti kàddu yi aide suma ndoom.
Waaw.
Waaw li ngeen def nii neex na trop waaye clip boobu noonu. Dama bëgg a xale yi. Su ma yëg su ma njaboot.
Waaw.
ñu bàyyi xel ci
irregular migration.
Waaw clip boobu noonu. Xale bu paree fas jom. Mu war a am jom. War a gëm boppam. Xam ku mu doon. Dafa war a bàyyi xel ci clip boobu.
Dëgg la.
Waaw.
Waaw waaye ba
dafa daw yaram trop waaye ñu toog rek. ñu muñ te xam ni xale yu góor yi xale yu jigéen yi ñoom ñëpp jàmbaar lañu.
waaw
léegi suñu njaboot. jàmbaar lañu. ñii ñu ngi dëkk ci ñu ngi dugg ci promotion.
waaw waaye baajen balaa ngaa dem rek ma bugg a laa laajte lu ndaw parce que danga ne yow baajeni xale yi nga maanaam yow yaa ngi fa di seet ñun lu ñoo def lu bon lu ñoo def nga ñu see génne waaye am na clip bu ndaw buñ fa play tam boo xam ne wane nañ ne family pressure daf dee contribute si irregular migration bi si wàllum dem yooni gannaaw léegi lan nga am pour wax si loolu tamit.
li ma am pour wax si loolu mooy ne dafa métti.
waaw.
nga eewu suba. sa yaay jox la lunch. jox la jëndal la baag. jëndal la dàll nga dem school. nga wàcc school amuloo liggéey li nga jàng ci school bi amuloo ko. nga jàng métier amuloo ku laa yóbbu. wala amuloo koo xamante ni ku am péché ku laa jàngal métier bi pour nga mun ko nga toog sa dëkka. foog nga jéem a dox.
ok.
léegi ñun yaay yi. ñun ñoo war a jàppale suñu doom yi.
dëgg la
ñu muñ loo leen. parce que lii dafa daw yaram trop de.
waaw daw na yaram kañ.
lii dafa daw yaram trop.
ok
nga eewu suba. amoon na at boo xamante ne am na xale bu góor bu ko musoon a woy.
waaw
eewu suba dugal loxol si poos dara newu fa. jolof
easy wut waaye baajen dañ laa bàyyi rek nga dem waaye yow bugga nañ nga jàppa programme bi comme que yaay baajani xale yi te programme bi pour xale yi rek la ñun si loolu rek la ñuy dox bugga nañ nga jàppa programme bi su ko defee ngay mun di call di ñu jox yu mel nii loolu am na solo torop. So due to time constraints we have to leave you, but just quickly today if I want to get into documentary making or filmmaking, give me 3 tips, just 3 tips that I can bank on to be successful in it.
If you want to be interested in documentary first, you have to unlearn everything you have learned.
You have to unlearn it.
Everything you have learned.
Okay.
And because the biggest challenges I see people having is they come with, this is what I want to tell.
Okay.
And when you go there, you find out that is not there.
So which means you do not have to be specific when you're going. You have to be open-minded.
What I'm saying is, if I come to say what you're wearing has to look like blue, I have to do everything to make it look like blue.
Okay.
In documentary, that is not. Whatever you know is not important. Whatever I knew about migration was not important when I met Pabi.
Okay.
I didn't want to say this story. I went there and said, I want to tell an authentic story. That is why I'm shutting up. It's only Pabi and his people that are talking.
Okay.
And I'm not asking them the questions to guide the discussions. I'm just watching them. Okay. That is 1. 2, learn the technical things. It's easy now to learn. You go to YouTube, go to or meet anybody, come to State of Mic. We can give you the necessary tools.
Okay.
So for the sake of time, let me stop on those things.
No, I want the 3rd one. Yes. I insist.
The 3rd one is basically very related to the other one, which is be authentic.
Okay.
Be honest.
Wow.
Because documentary is different from news reading. It's different from journalism.
Every other thing. Why Babukar, yo, you ne nag yo danga nopi.
Yes, when I'm not at work.
Wow, you ne danga nopi, yo, you are not kui gina. Hamga sometimes dañu ne kui Babukar manka sa mom si background bi rek la nekk. Is that deliberate? Lolu deliberate.
Nit ñoo ko gis man gisuma ko. Man I think of myself as a talkative.
Okay.
And if you follow me, you know that I'm a talkative.
You are?
Yes, so
But you like being in the background.
I don't know if I'm in the background. I don't know. As I said, I'm not a terminologist guy. So wherever people see it, that's how it is. But yeah, but personally, I don't see myself as this person or that person. I'm not an introvert. I'm not an extrovert.
Okay,
I am whatever I need to be in every situation.
All right. Anyway, it's really good to have you here. I'm not going to mention leneen feneen sax waaye ñu ngi maa jéem a forcé waaye du ma wax boobu dañ koo bàyyi rek mu jàll suñu amee beneen engagement feneen si beneen bés su ko defee boobu dinañ mën a toog parce que man na ma dégg ay anniversary ak yooyu noonu ma ne xaaral ma wish la
okay, is it a show? Is it a
you dialogue la
yes, I am
you dialogue la
2013 this time I was actually texting a girl asking her out, and that girl is now carrying my 2-year-old baby. So if that is what you wanted to know, that is it.
All right, so he's taking you guys. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. It has been an amazing discussion here. You know, I've learned a lot, you know, educated me a lot, and I'm 100% sure that all the people watching out there got to learn a lot about the documentary, and looking forward to a big screening in Gambia where everyone can go and take a look at it. So this is your first time on Youth Dialogue. I'm looking forward to subsequent conversations because it has been great. So we'll go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we will take a look at little Muhammad, you know, trying to use cardboards to make robots. He will be right here to tell us how he achieves that. We'll be right back.
Style 2022 loolu laa wax de man waaw kay boo gisee nag ñu di ko waajal depuis léegi dañoo bëgg nag yokku cere dolli ñeex li ko waral nag QTV dañu bëgg saa yu ñuy def dara képp ku ci nekk rek gis ci sa bopp moo waral nag this time ñu bëgg koo yokku nag yaatal ko nag géew bi nag dañu ko yaatal ba mu yaatu lool ba tax ñu ngi woo designers yépp ci biir réew mi waaye yow mi nekk sax bitim réew bëgg ñu wane nag say product jokkal ak QTV da ci am solo nag bu baax a baax ba tax nag ki nga xamante ne pièce day jaay ci marché bi bëgg naa wane ay pièce ak ay xeetu pièce yi mu yor ñëwal ci biir Tobaski ak Style 2022 moom la ñuy waajal xanaa war naa neex dama ne nag kaay leen ngeen won ma seen mënin ma wax leen seeni cumbukaay ba tax nag jokkoo leen ak ñun ci nu mu gën a gaawee ci 32 44 44 4 ak QTV ak Tobaski ak Style yéen ñi rek ñu tax roo yow rek ci jongoma cey
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Your favorite QCell service has gotten bigger. eFunkanta. Now you can loan bigger credit amounts to make life easier for you. Loan $75 and $100 and pay later. Yes, you heard me right. Get credit loan from $10 to $100 using eFunkanta by dialing *393#. Anytime you run out of credit, whether you want to buy Q-Power, browse the internet, make urgent calls, or send SMS. eFunkanta is the service for you. Dial *393# and choose the loan amount of your choice with no hassle. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus, the pioneers of mobile loan service in the Gambia. We innovate, others follow. Terms and
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV Youth Dialogue. That was Alaji Manka. Thank you for coming. Now we head right on to Momodu Lum. So Momodu is using cardboards and papers to make robots. So first of all, Momodu, can you tell us, how did you start this? Where did the motivation come from?
Hello, my name is Momodu Aslu. My name is Momodu Aslu, and I'm...
All right. So we're going to make this exciting. I'm not going to allow you in any way to be panicked. We will not allow that. Dañoo waxtaan xam nga luy waxtaan dañoo am suñ campé bu neex maa yow ñu wax affaire bi naka la ñëwee and everything because man lii dafa interesting te jaaxal na ma te bëgg naa see jàngalu bari. So yow naka nga amee idea bi? How did the idea come ba nga wax ne yow di nga mën a jël cardboard ak defar yi yëpp yu nice yi nga defar nii?
Sometimes when I slept, I used to dream that I'm making this thing, I'm creating it, and when I wake up, I used to try it.
Okay.
And my first one was helicopter. I dream it and I wake up and I try it. My dream come true.
All right. And do you know, I also dreamt about becoming a journalist, and the dream came through. So you do know dreams come through.
Yes.
Because your dream came through,
yes.
and my dream came through as well. You know, so dreams do come through, you know, and you have to just walk towards it. So when you try, how did you come to realize that this is what you have to put together? You have to put this, you have to put that and that together to have this. How? How did you know that you have to use like a cardboard to achieve this?
You know, when I don't use cardboard, or I just come and say this is what I want to make.
Okay.
Nobody will understand. But if I just make it and I show it to people, they will understand that this is what I have made.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you want to do a little exercise for us to see something?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. Show us.
This is a farmhouse.
This is a farmhouse?
Yes.
Okay.
And the wind power is to gold. It's a windmill.
Ooh, look at that! Oh my God! Are you guys seeing this? Isn't this amazing? This is a young, talented Momodu doing extraordinary things. Wow!
And this one is a helicopter.
Okay, so that one is a helicopter?
Yeah.
Show us. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Look at that. Okay, okay. Oh, nice. So this one is a farmhouse and it's already working for us, you know. So what else do we have here?
This one is a robot.
It's a robot. So what does that robot do?
The head is to spin around.
Okay, so the head spins.
Yeah.
So you get to control it and it spins. Do you want to show us?
Yeah.
Okay, show us how that happens. All right. Oh, wow. You see that?
Yeah. Use the remote to spin the head.
Okay. So where do you intend to see yourself with this? What do you want to study? Where do you wish to see yourself doing all of this at this age?
I want to be studying computer and engineering.
Computer and engineering.
Yeah.
So what steps are you taking right now? Because you know in Gambia here, you know, a lot of people at your age will say, man, how maluma buga neka. But right now, you know, because you got the right counseling. So what steps are you taking as we speak? Yan steps nga neka di jël? Lan nga neka di def? Pour nga muna aga fofu nonu. Xam nga door nga li ba pare. So yenen steps nga neka di jël ndanka.
I'm the use engineering.
Okay.
La neka di def.
Nga neka di def. Wa baxna. So legi won ñu yi tamit naka la ñoo doxé. Won ñu yi. Man daal gis naa ne yow doo wax kat yow dang dee def ñu gis te man loolu laa gom xale buy def ñu gis man loolu laa gom de ah te yow loolu nga nag man loolu laa gom. Oh wow, look at that. Okay, so this is like an aeroplane.
Yeah, a beach plane.
Oh, it's a beach plane.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a beach plane. Nice. Okay, this is amazing. So we can simply hop on it and go to which country?
Yeah.
Which country is your favorite country? Fan la ñoo dem suñ fa duggee fu ñoo dem?
Gambia.
Gambia.
It's my favorite.
It's your favorite country. No other country. Buguloo ben dëkka. Gambia rek nga buga. Ah, jeex na tak. So what's that? How about that?
No, this one is not yet done.
Okay.
It's a car.
It's a car.
Yeah.
Okay. So which school do you plan to go to when you finish? When you're going to grade 12 or when you're going to junior school? Which school do you plan to go to?
I don't know. We will just wait for the day.
So you're just under planning and everything.
Yes.
So your friends, do you engage your friends for them to help you?
No.
As to how to do this, or you just do it on your own?
I used to do it on my own.
You do it on your own?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you want to tell your mom and your dad? I know they've been so supportive. Your mom is here, your dad is here watching you. So what do you want to tell them?
I want to tell them thank you, and my brothers and sisters. My sister also. I used to spoil her toys, getting these machines and dynamos. That's how I also came up with my plans also.
Okay, that's how you came up with your plans. Okay.
And my dad also helped me a lot.
Okay.
He buys a lot of stuff for me.
Okay. Mom shy nice boy la. Man ma kama buga boy bu shy te nice. te xam nga yow da nga shy te nice man ñooñu lay wóor man. So fu mu nekk nii we just open the lines. Maybe you have you know, a few things to talk about or to ask. And also, if children are watching, I know it's 10 o'clock already, but preferably if we have children call to, you know, say a few words, that would be really, really nice. So as you can see, this is Momodu Loom. So Momodu is interested in robotics, and as you can see, using cardboards to make all of this. So wow, we can just off it now.
This one, I make it for the Gambia instead of using boat.
Okay.
We can use this beach plane to go on the river.
To go.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to change the transportation narrative in the Gambia?
Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. So we have a caller on the line, so let's take that and the conversation continues. Good evening.
Good evening, how are you? I just joined lately.
Oh, you okay, it's good that you're here. So do you have a question or a comment? But first of all, what is your name?
I'm Mohammed.
All right, so Mohammed, you have a question or a comment?
Hello, just to boast the young boy, tell the parents to be supportive, and, you know, and it is good that he is on the media here, so
exactly
can showcase what he is doing. If there is a way they can just push him to hackathons, because I saw something on the internet, hackathons, it's related to this, it will help him.
Yeah, but actually he's even part of a specific body that is helping with the publicity and all of that.
It's very interesting. He said he used to spoil his sister's stuff to create. That's very impressive of him.
Yeah.
I hope someday he's gonna pay back the sister.
Yes, he can. And you know,
he becomes a millionaire or an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and another interesting thing is that at his age, he's able to know that in Gambia here we have transportation problems. And he's ready to solve them. He's saying that he made this just to ensure that we all, you know, hop in it and get to go to our own destinations. And his favorite country is the Gambia.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Just good luck to him all the way up.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. I'm afraid that is the only caller that we can take. So what final words do you have, you know, especially for all of your mates at school, you know, to be creative, to try to do what they want, you know, even if the parental support and all of that is not there. So lan nga bëgg a wax sa xarit yi ci school bi lan nga leen bëgg a wax? Dang leen bëgg a wax ñu improve su ko defee ñu improve ñu mel ni yow parce que man ni yow laa bëgg a mel. Man ni yow laa bëgg a mel man dama bëgg a mel ni yow mun a defar lii mun a create so just tell them a few words. Lan nga bëgg a wax sa xarit yi ci school bi?
I wanted to tell them to improve and be
okay. You know, be serious, read their books.
And focus on what you are doing.
And focus on what you're doing.
Yes. And before we go, I have something for you.
Oh, you have something for me?
Yes.
Okay. Isn't this exciting? I have a gift, okay? I have a gift. Do you need help?
No, it's okay.
It's okay?
Yes. This is for QTV.
Oh, it is? Oh, look at that. Isn't this pretty? This is so nice. Thank you. And you made this?
Yes.
Thank you so much. This is so beautiful, as you can see.
You can on it.
Oh, we can. Oh.
It's a Bluetooth frame.
Bluetooth mode.
Okay. Feel ko. Man,
you can put even music in there.
Oh, you can even put music in it. How? How do I do that?
Here.
Oh, there.
Yes.
Okay. So you can just simply put music in it and listen to it.
USB driver mode.
Okay. Dama wara fecha ndax dama dimbal acaka. Wa, dugalat ko nañu. Bi ban woy la ni? Xamulo sax. Way da ko di dugal rek mu ñew. Okay, isn't this beautiful? I'm so excited that, you know, he's able to do this. So, you know that's my favorite song. Huh?
No.
Hamuloko one. Dañ la ko wax. Naka nga xamé ne bi suma favorite song la?
I don't know.
You didn't know. It just happened. Yes. All right. I just wish we had more time. You know, I'm so excited about, you know, I'm so excited about what the future holds for you. And the fact that you just asked your classmates to be serious, you know, to read their books in school, because you have a long journey ahead of you. you know, and you should be lucky, you should count yourself lucky that you have parents who are counseling you, helping you to already, you know, understand what you want to become in future. You already said it, you want to do computer science, so it's said and done.
And engineering.
And engineering. Yes. So now you just have to work towards it. I just hope that Chairman, Mr. Mohamed Jah, is watching, because this is this is the next Mohamed Jah, standing right in front of you, about to come up with a company when it comes to all of these things that you're doing. So hopefully after here, dina la call mu motivate la. Parce que mom def na ko Gambia, yow tam mën nga ko def de, di nga ko mëna def. Wax ko ma dégg.
I will make it to
wax ko Mr. Mohamed Jah, man mën naa ko make si Gambia bi.
Mr. Mohamed Jah, I can also make it into Gambia.
So program till I come your way next week with another interesting program. This was amazing, from Babukar Manka to Mohamed Lum here. Interesting program. I was afraid of, you know, combining the two, but it seemed that it blends well. It blended really, really well. So till I come your way next week.